Hi, everybody. I've been thinking recently a lot about self-knowledge and self-awareness. You probably know that at the holiest spot in ancient Greece, the oracle at Delphi, there was an inscription that's translated into English as "Know thyself." This advice has been repeated by most of the great philosophers, and maybe it was first discussed by Thales of Miletus in the 7th century before the Common Era. Diogenes Laertius, in his famous text Lives of Eminent Philosophers, tells us that Thales was asked a series of questions. A man came up to him and said, Thales, what's the hardest thing in the world? And Thales said, to know yourself. And the man said, well, okay, what's the easiest thing in the world? And we're told that Thales said, to give people advice like this. We'll pass by that one. Then he was asked a third question. What's the most satisfying thing in the world? And Thales said, true success. Now, as you read the philosophers following Thales, you come to realize very quickly that most of the great thinkers have believed that true success, deeply satisfying and sustainable success, depends on self-knowledge. If that's the most satisfying thing in the world, and it depends on what Thales called the hardest thing in the world, no wonder so many people find true success so elusive in their lives. Well, Socrates had a student that a lot of people haven't heard of named Xenophon, and the great management expert Peter Drucker said one of Xenophon's books, The Education of Cyrus, about Cyrus the Great, is the greatest piece of leadership literature ever written. That's a big claim. Well, I've read it 3 or 4 times, and I got to tell you, it's an amazing book. It's probably the first philosophical novel, maybe the first novel of any kind, about a person becoming great. And in the course of the story, Cyrus comes up against a leader who has a fierce reputation, and Cyrus has to take the territory in a military way. And he believes it's going to be a very difficult battle, but it ends up being really easy. He defeats this king with no effort seemingly whatsoever, and later goes to find the king to ask him, look, you were supposed to be really fierce, and you kind of were easy to beat here. What's the deal? And the king says to Cyrus, well, the deal is, I thought I knew myself. I thought self-knowledge was the easiest thing in the world. It's not. It's maybe the hardest. And because I had never been up against anything like you, I had a complete misunderstanding of my strengths and weaknesses. I've come to realize that self-knowledge can be the key to victory or to defeat. I want to urge y'all today to do some exercises in self-knowledge and self-awareness, because as one of my friends likes to say, 2 of the most important things in the life of any leader, the life of any entrepreneur, the life of any person wanting to be successful is self-awareness, self-knowledge, and self-management. Think about this some more. Happy philosophizing.